line it up along the shaft. Then I take some cordage. This cordage here is just a piece of split artificial sinew. Alright. This cordage here is real sinew. So for this part of it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just split off a piece of this backstrap sinew here. A couple of pieces here. One should be fine. Alright, so I'm basically going to take this piece here and I'm going to have to moisten this. You can soak it in some water. If this is a piece of sinew that you've harvested and you know where it's been, you can go ahead and put it in your mouth and wet it down and make sure it gets good and wet. The beauty of this is when it's wet and you wrap it around whatever it is you're wrapping it around, it'll stick to itself, and then when it dries, it'll go ahead and squeeze right up. You don't need any glue. You don't need, it's got its own glue attached to it, and you don't need any knots or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and wet this down. I've got this pretty good and wet here. I just chewed on it a bit, and I'm going to take my cock feather here and I'm going to lay it against the shaft like so. Again, so that it is perpendicular to the notch. And I'm going to go ahead and just lay this in and give it a few turns on my L. Okay? Just like so. Okay, just wrap it. You can make some adjustments. Okay, and then again, this is sinew, so what it'll do is it'll dry onto itself and it'll squeeze tight. It'll glue itself. So that's the first one in place, just like so. Okay, and usually what I do then is, at about 30 degrees on either side of this part of the other opposite side of the knot is where I'll lay in my other feathers. That sort of kind of gives me my equilateral triangle without having to lay in any marks or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of wrap this in like so. It's a little longer piece, so I might be able to lay in the other piece, the other fletching. So just kind of straighten that up there. You can check your adjustment of how it's laying in. Sometimes it'll move on you, and you'll just have to keep your adjustment here. It's a little trick. With a little practice, it gets easier. Okay, right about there. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and lay in my other feather right in the middle, right in between those two. Okay, and go ahead and finish wrapping this up with my sinew. Put it into place. And then you can make your adjustments from there. So this is about right. It's looking about right. Okay, so we kind of got this sort of airplane or propeller thing going on, which is what we want.